It's time to do some intermittent fasting with me. I'm gonna coach you along the way and we're all gonna do this together. It's the Intermittent Fasting Challenge and it starts January 2nd, but I wanted to get you all the information and give you the preliminary diet plan ahead of time so you have no excuses. You can get your groceries and you can dive right in with me on January 2nd. So let's break down what's gonna happen. Okay, this is no gimmicks, no weird stuff. It's literally me laying out a diet plan that I suggest that I think that you should follow along with me. I'm gonna do it too throughout the month of January. And if you like it and then you adopt it as a lifestyle, then awesome. My channel's known for intermittent fasting and keto. So this will work for intermittent fasting with keto, and it will work for intermittent fasting without keto. But I'll get down to the intricacies of it and explain why we do certain things. You will notice it is lower carb, even if you are not keto. Anyhow, I digress. So let's IF together. Here's what's gonna be cool. We're gonna have live broadcasts every single Monday throughout the entirety of this program. Okay, with the exception of the first Monday because it comes shortly after the second day of the month when we start. So that means January 6th, January 13th, January 20th, and January 27th. I will hop on live on YouTube, answer questions, give updates, give diet substitutions, things like that, because you might get bored with things and you just want to be motivated and encouraged, right? Okay, then I'm gonna set up an additional Facebook group. This is for banter and for people just to motivate each other. It's not really for the coaching aspect. It's more so for support and banter. So it'll be fun. I know a lot of people on YouTube don't use Facebook and don't like Facebook, and that's why I'm also doing the live broadcasts on YouTube. I'm not alienating anybody, but it'll be a lot more fun. When we did the keto challenge back in September, this was a blast, and I'm super involved in that, super engaged, live updates all the time. You just don't want to miss out. We're gonna follow what is called an alternate day fasting protocol. I'm not gonna have you intermittent fast every day. However, if you are experienced, you absolutely can if you really are comfortable with it. But I recommend people that are starting, we do an alternate day fasting protocol, which is going to be something like 16 to 20 hours fasting one day and then no fasting the next day. And then 16 to 20 hour fast the next day, and then no fasting the next day. So every other day you will be doing an intermittent fast, but I recommend doing it slightly longer than what typically people talk about, like the 16 hours. I usually say, let's go for 18-ish, push it a little bit further. I've also partnered up with ButcherBox on this, just like I did with the keto challenge. So that means that when you look at the meal plan that we lay out, you can go ahead and use the link down below to get all your meat items from ButcherBox. So they've teamed up with me on this and provided the food for this, so that way you can get special discounts on the meats, on the chicken, on the bacon, on the fish, things like that. So you want to use the link down below in the description. That way you have time to order everything and get your meat delivered to your doorstep before you actually start the challenge on January 2nd. If it's a couple days late, it's not the end of the world either. I just wanted you to be able to save some money rather than having to go to the grocery store. So that link is down below in the first line of the description there. Okay, so here's the diet plan, and here's sort of the structure. Are you gonna poke holes in this? Yes, probably, because I can only go so in depth in a video, but I've also taken the liberty of putting links down in the description to various intermittent fasting videos that I've done that are going to answer common questions. So that way you just can lock and load. On a fasting day, you're gonna wake up and you can absolutely still have your coffee or your tea. No, you cannot have bulletproof coffee or keto coffee on a fasting day. It will break a fast. I don't want you to put cream in, I don't want you to put sugar in, but I am okay with stevia, I am okay with monk fruit. So I highly recommend going with green tea in this particular case. It's just going to help you out a lot on a fasting day. I want you to work out, even if ever so gingerly and ever so just slightly. I want you to work out in that fasted state. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's hitting the stationary bike. Maybe it's lifting. Maybe you're seasoned, okay? The cool thing is the month of January is gonna be fasting month, and I'm gonna have content that helps you out throughout the month. No pre-workout drinks, no branched chain amino acids. Keep it clean. Coffee, tea before your workout. Diet soda, as much as I hate them, yuck, is okay. I am okay with you drinking diet sodas. Preferably do ones that have stevia or monk fruit or anything like that. Try to stay away from the aspartame, the acetylsulfame K, and the sucralose if you can. Can we dive into this in detail? We absolutely can. Can you poke holes? Can you say I did a video on this and that? Yes, you can. But for all intents and purposes, if it has calories and it's not coffee or tea, it's gone. Here's how I want you to break a fast on your fasting day, okay? You're gonna eat the night before, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna do your whole thing. I want you to fast for roughly 16 to 20 hours, okay? If you're more experienced, you can actually drag it out a little bit longer. Break your fast with 4 ounces of broth. I understand that bone broth is not always affordable for people, so I'm not gonna command that you do that. You can use regular veggie broth that you can get at the dollar store if you need to. The reason I want something with ever so slight amount of calories to get the gastric juices flowing so you're not throwing food in on a totally empty stomach. And then I want you to have 6 ounces of lean protein. I would recommend in this case that you go with a lean white fish or a lean chicken, okay? And you can use the meat from Butcher Box in this case, so it's a lot more affordable. Red meat is okay, but you want to keep it as lean as possible, so you might just want to wait to have your red meat for the next meal, okay? If you're vegan, vegetarian, a pea protein shake would be a great mix here. If you're not doing keto, you can add 4 ounces of red potato. Just microwave it if you want to, or mash up some potatoes the night before. No added butter, no added fats. You hear that? No added fats. I don't care if you're keto or not keto. This needs to keep just lean, because you're insulin sensitive. You want your body to absorb that stuff, okay? So very important there. Okay, then meal number 2 is going to be any time after 60 minutes later. Okay, so 60 minutes and beyond. Try to abstain from food after having this for at least 60 minutes. So maybe 90 minutes might be a sweet spot for you. And this is what your meal 2 is going to look like on a fasting day. 5 ounces, more if you're a bigger person, of lean burger. Okay, ground beef, grass-fed, grass-finished, high-quality omega-3 ground beef. Make a burger, make it taste good. Again, use your grocery store, use your butcher, use Butcher Box. I don't really care. I just want to do what's convenient for you. Okay, 1.5 ounces of goat cheese, if you like it, or buffalo mozzarella. Lower casein proteins, lower levels of lactose, easier on the gut. If you can't do buffalo mozzarella and you're okay with sharper cheeses, go ahead and add some Romano or some Parmesan, and those are going to be good too. If you can't do that, aged white cheddar is going to be the next best bet, okay? That way it's aged and it's broken down some of the lactose and things like that. So yes, I'm okay with a little bit of cheese in this diet. 1/2 of a medium avocado on your burger. That way we're getting the oleic acid, we're activating uncoupling proteins and getting fat burning initiated in a different way. 1 cup of broccoli or cauliflower. I want these cruciferous veggies in there for the reason of your endocrine system. Going to help out estrogen modulation. If you eat a bunch of food, you spike your insulin, you can throw hormones out of whack. I want to keep that controlled. If you don't like broccoli or cauliflower, bok choy would be okay, kale would be okay. I want some deep leafy green, preferred cruciferous, okay? Then this seems like a lot, but I want 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And you can make that into a pesto, you can make it into an aioli or whatever, and I want you to put it on the burger and or mix it up with your broccoli, with your cauliflower. It seems like a lot, and it is, because it's 300 calories worth, but the reality is, look how much food we're eating in the day. It's not much. Okay, you need to get some of your calories in. The best way to do that is through healthy, unsaturated fats. Okay, so the next meal that we have is optional. This is going to be pre-bed, and you don't have to do it. It's going to be 1 to 2 scoops of your favorite whey protein isolate or pea protein powder mixed with a little bit of Greek yogurt. Okay, Greek yogurt that is unsweetened. That way you're getting some protein, you're getting the probiotic effect. You go ahead and you add that in there. You don't have to do that. You might be totally satiated after this. Okay, you might be wondering, well, I'm not keto. This is a keto meal. On your fasting days, I want you to keep it close to keto, even if you're not keto. And that is simply because while you have been fasting, your body has been creating ketones. Newsflash, that's some of the major benefit you're getting from fasting in the first place, is you are getting ketones without eating a keto diet. So I want you to be able to carry this effect on a little bit longer after you eat. So you're technically keto while you're fasting. And then once you eat, it would technically break that. Well, you're going to break it a little bit by having the potato here if you're not keto, but you'll quickly get right back into keto again. So the point is, just follow this no matter what you're doing, okay? And then we have to talk about the non-fasting day. Remember, you're alternating your fasting days. Here's something to note. As we progress with this plan, I will allow you to do a couple back-to-back fasting days. But for all intents and purposes, while you are getting started, I recommend that you simply keep it every other day. If you're not getting good results after the first few days, go ahead and add a couple back-to-back days. But here's what I want you to eat on a non-fasting day. Meal number 1, 2 eggs plus 2 additional yolks, even if you are not keto. We need the biotin, we need the healthy fats. They're not going to drive up your cholesterol. It doesn't have to do with that. 1/2 of an avocado, once again, to get the oleic acid. 1.5 cups of spinach wilted. So cook it down and add 1 tablespoon of ghee or coconut oil to it to give it some flavor. Add some salt, make it taste good. And then I say do 2 ounces of ground chicken or ground pork and mix it into your eggs and make a little scramble. If you don't want to do that, 2 slices of bacon would be okay as well. If you're on the go, you can sub this exact pre-bed meal for your breakfast, okay? So you can take that yogurt, suck that, swap it out. The cool thing is, we're gonna have these live broadcasts that are gonna help explain this stuff. But this is walking you through what you can do, okay? Meal number 2, lean chicken breast. If you can't do chicken breast, I'm okay with you doing beef again. It just needs to be lean, like a flank steak if that's the case. Mixed greens, you're basically making a Caesar salad or a Cobb salad kind of thing here. A 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese mixed into the salad. Okay, then I want a 1/4 cup of olives. We're gonna get good vitamin D from that. We're gonna get good oleic acid once again, that's gonna help regulate that uncoupling protein process to help you burn some more fat. Okay, so we want that. 2 ounces of macadamia nuts chopped into the salad. That way we get our omega-7 fats. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail there, just trust me on it. Okay, if you're not keto, this is where it changes. If you're not keto, do not eat the macadamia nuts. Instead, have 6 ounces of quinoa mixed into your salad, okay? A little bit of grains, not gonna kill you. A little bit of starch, you're not keto anyway, so it's all good. 2 tablespoons of dressing. If you're keto, high-fat dressing, a ranch, some kind of, whatever, a balsamic that has some oil in it. If you're not keto, if you're doing the carbs and you did the quinoa, try to keep it lean, like a balsamic vinaigrette that isn't oil-based. Okay, that's small amounts, low amounts of fat, or a honey mustard that doesn't have sugar in it. Very simple. Okay, now let's talk dinner. Dinner gets a little bit more fun. 6 ounces of lean steak or sockeye salmon, or if you want to do 3 ounces of steak and 3 ounces of salmon, you could do yourself a little surf and turf. All good there. So that's a lot of fun. If you don't want to do the steak, or honestly you can't afford it because steak gets expensive, I'm okay with ground beef. Totally okay with ground beef. I would just prefer that we keep it a lean steak. 10 stalks of asparagus. Nice and clean, with 1 tablespoon of butter or oil mixed up with it to make it taste better. Hot tip, add some nutritional yeast to that asparagus and it makes it taste really, really, really good. But if you're not keto, and I know this gets complicated, but if you're not keto, don't add the extra oil to the asparagus. 3 strips of bacon. Yes, you get bacon with your surf and turf. Because if you're getting good quality bacon, it's all good. You're gonna get the ribbon of saturated fat that's actually good for your myelination of your nerves. It's decent for you, so it's okay to have that. If you're not doing keto, I want you to sub that out for 2 slices of gluten-free bread. One thing is very important on this diet. Keep the gluten out of the equation. I want you to just get that out of the diet so your body can actually have a chance to recover, your gut can get a chance to recover. So have a couple slices of gluten-free bread and you'll be okay. Your fat's pretty low in this to begin with, because even though you're adding the gluten-free bread in, you're not having the oil along with the asparagus, so you're really okay. And then I say have a small side salad with a little bit of dressing and a tablespoon of chia or flax. I want the soluble fiber in there, whether you're keto or not, to help with digestion, but if you are not keto, it's gonna help reduce sort of the blood sugar spike that you get from the carbs. So very, very simple, okay? Really easy to follow. If you need other meal ideas for your non-fasting days, you can reference my keto challenge video that has a full meal plan for keto. Okay, that way you can use any of those meals on a non-fasting day, and I'll put that in the description, but here's the basic one I want you to follow. Supplements, I don't want to go into a lot of detail because it's a gray area for so many people, but the basics that I think people should have: 400 milligrams of a good quality magnesium, like dimagnesium malate, things like that. 2,000 milligrams of fish oil, which sounds like a lot, and it is, but it's really important on a keto or an intermittent fasting diet to have good amounts of omega-3 so that your brain gets the activity that it needs, so it gets that DHA, but also so that you end up having all the cellular activity that you want, mTOR activation, long story. Anyhow, 400 micrograms of chromium at the end of the day. This is going to help your GLUT4 transporter. It's basically going to help blood sugar control. And then lastly, if you can afford it, again, it can be a little bit more expensive sometimes, 300 milligrams of coenzyme Q10. Costco has a great coenzyme Q10 that's affordable, so 300 milligrams per day, pretty easy on that. So once again, just to recap, alternate day fasting. Fast one day, don't fast the next. Fast one day, don't fast the next. If you need to increase your results, you can go up to 2 days back to back, but no more than that. There'll be lots of details on the live broadcast. Go ahead and check out ButcherBox so that you can get your meat delivered to you before we start. And then I will hop on here January 2nd so that you can just have all the details and we can just get started together. One quick note, if you're following this after this challenge has officially started or ended, it's all good. Everything will still be up and be evergreen for you to research and use going forward. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel, and I'll see you January 2nd.